How are you?
Pretty good. What do we got here?
So this is I think the first print Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic.
Ninja Turtles?
So you're talking the very first Ninja Turtles?
I'm pretty sure this is the one I had when I was a kid. My mom kept it, so this is the very first one.
84 is when it came out. Who was your favorite Ninja Turtle?
There was Raphael, Michelangelo.
You know who you remind me of? Master Splinter.
He was like the rat ninja boss teacher.
Yeah, just like you. The rat ninja boss teacher.
So I'm here at the pawn shop today to sell my first edition Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles signed by Kevin Eastman. This book is very special to me because it really was the book that got me into comic books, and then having it signed by Kevin Eastman makes it even more special. I'm hoping to sell it for around $60,000.
I love the Ninja Turtles. This comic book was created as just a standalone comic. It wasn't ever supposed to have, like, you know, multiple storylines. And they only made like a few thousand of these, and it did so well immediately they released another 3,000. And then in 1986, they started working out a deal to create a cartoon series, and then...
They had movies and everything, too,
And
right?
then, yeah, they have tons and tons of movies.
So you had it signed, or?
My mom got it signed. Kevin Eastman drew on it and signed it, so it's got to be him. I can't think of anyone else that would sign this book.
Yeah, because no one in the history has ever forged a signature for their kid.
Well, yeah, I sort of guilty of that myself. Well, it looks pretty cool. I don't want to finger it all up because with comics, it's all about the grade. Okay, so tell me, how much you want for it?
Well, I saw somewhere that one of these went for $50,000.
Okay. So how much do you want for it?
$60,000?
So more than they went for.
This is signed, though.
Okay. I know there's big money here if it's a first edition and it's in great shape. You know, I don't know what a signature looks like.
I mean, looks like a Ninja Turtle.
I know someone who will definitely know about this.
Okay.
I am going to go call him and see if I can get a hold of him to come down here and take a look at it.
Okay.
All right?
I'm gonna go look for some pizza while you're gone.
Help customers. You know what? Pizza does sound kind of good. Like I said, I've met this guy a couple times. He was gracious enough to come down. Kevin Eastman.
Hey, Chumley.
Pleasure to meet you.
I'm sorry you're friends with Rick.
Let me get around there.
Hey. Oh, nice to meet you. I love your work.
Thanks. Is this your work?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
fantastic. Wow.
So I've heard the stories, but I might as well hear it from the horse's mouth. How did this comic actually come about?
It really came out of a complete joke. Both Peter Laird and myself wanted to be Jack Kirby when we grew up. We wanted to write and draw comic books for a living. I was a huge fan of Bruce Lee, and I figured if Bruce Lee was an animal, what would be the stupidest animal? I had this idea, did this sketch, turtle in a kung fu pose, mask on, nunchuck strapped to his arm, and I put it on Pete's desk, and I said, this is going to be the next big thing. He got a laugh. I drew 4 turtles, each with different weapons, and we said, this is the dumbest thing we've ever seen. We borrowed money from our uncle. We had enough money to print 3,000 copies. We figured maybe if we sold a couple hundred, we could pay him back at least something.
Okay, so how'd you first sell it? I mean, you put it in comic book stores?
Pete had this idea. He said, let's put out a news story that says, we've arrived. And I said, that's stupid. Nobody's going to buy into this. And he put it out, and the AP picked it up, and pretty much all over the country, they started doing news articles about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So we sold out that first press run in, what, 2 weeks?
Okay.
We made enough money from that issue to pay our rent, eat all the macaroni and cheese we run, and draw on comic books full time. So we had become Jack Kirby by summer of 1985.
Turtle power.
Turtle power.
All right. So the big question is this a first printing?
Yes, definitely first printing.
So what's the difference between the first printing and the second printing?
The second printing was a little bit lighter, more of a pinkish tone to it. So I definitely know this is a first printing just because of the deep, rich redness of it. So my signature is undeniable because ever since the very, very beginning, I always wanted to make it different than anybody else, the way they were signing the comics. So I added a turtle head on each one. So this is definitely my signature.
All right. Do you know what these things go for?
I've seen them range, you know, all over the map price-wise.
You have no idea what it's worth.
No idea what it's worth. So.
All right. But it's legit. That's your signature.
Yes, 100%.
Okay, at least we know that, and we'll figure out a price later. We'll have lunch soon, dude. I'll call somebody up, and we'll get this figured out.
Look forward to it. Thanks, guys. See ya.
All right. Sorry to do this to you, but when we're talking a lot of money, I sometimes have a lot of people look at things. Let me call one more guy and have him take a look at it.
All right.
I'm sure this guy can figure out a price on it, so give me like 15 minutes.
Okay. I'm really excited to see what the experts say. Knowing that Kevin said it was a first edition and that was his signature, I'm hoping maybe I can make a little bit more than what I was coming in for.
So, what we got here?
A first edition, first printing, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, signed by Kevin Eastman.
You had this when you were a kid?
When I was a kid, yeah. It's my original comic book.
I was there when this book came out. I laughed at this book. I didn't care about this book. I didn't buy it. It became the biggest thing in the world. There was only 3,000 of these things printed. Just for some context, X-Men, 300,000 print run. Spidey, 250,000 print run.
So it's super rare then.
It is, but what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to take a look at it first. Let's have a look at the condition of this book. You got one little tiny ding there. And then, oh, what do we have here? Couple little, is that like a light stain? Now, if you're aware of grading, it's usually like an 8.0, which is called a VF, which is a very fine. From what I can see, this is a line 4. So this is a special book. I don't know how you kept it in this condition for so long. I don't know if you had it in some weird room floating in the air. You did a great job. Now, you want the good news? They can press that little floor out.
Oh, wow.
There's a possibility that you can get this book to a 9.6.
Oh, wow.
Okay?
Okay.
So we need to take that into consideration.
So what's it worth?
A 9.4 straight right now, 11K.
And that's including his signature?
Yes. That's including the signature.
Okay.
So how much more would this bring if it was a 9.6?
We're talking minimum $20,000.
Okay.
But in current condition, retail value 11,000.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, man.
All
Appreciate
right.
it.
Thank you very much. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, it'll retail for 11. I mean, I'll give you 8 grand for it.
I mean, obviously I wanted to go 60. I mean, would you go like 30? The chance that it can still go
No.
to 20. Well, I guess.
Maybe that makes zero economic sense.
All right, what about 15? There's a chance you could make 20 off of it.
Yeah, no. I'm a businessman, not a gambler.
You know what, I think I'll just try to get it pressed and see what it comes back and then kind of go from there.
Okay, but if you change your mind, 8,000.
All right, thanks. I'm really shocked that it came down so low. So what I'll probably do is get it pressed and then just hold on to it, and hopefully it'll go up to what it's really valued at.
Hey, how you doing?
Chumley, how are you, man?
I'm good. Have you met Steve?
So, man, good to see you. How are you?
Someone brought in an awesome Star Wars comic signed by the cast of the original movie. And Steve said the autographs alone are worth more than $3 grand. The comic itself could be worth even more. So I called Paul down to come check it out.
Oh, wow, Star Wars 3.
Yes, this is her
Right.
comic.
All right.
So I've had Steve come and take a look at these autographs. He's
Hamill, Fisher, and Ford?
Yeah, no doubt they're real. It's, really fantastic piece.
Ballpoint pen all together. Nice. All right, now, in 77, Marvel was trying to do a price increase, so they increased on select areas from 30 cents to 35 cents. So if you find a 1 through 4 with a 35-cent price variant, the value just goes insane.
Is there just not as many of...
Now they're rare, they're hard to find, especially on the Star Wars 1 through 4. This is a regular 30 cent, and first I really ought to make sure it's whole. It should be 8 pages to the centerfold, then 8 after. It's a nice shape. No tears, no creases,
Okay.
and good news is it's complete.
Awesome.
I think it's about a 9.4, so near mint comic itself without the signatures would be worth about $50.
But if it was a 35-cent comic, it would be...
Like $3,000.
And what's the difference in them? Is there any...
A 5 right
Just
there.
that's it?
Yeah,
Oh, man.
sorry.
Breaking my heart.
Someone get me a marker.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think I've heard everything I need to know. Thank
You got it anytime.
Nice to see you. Good luck. Take care.
Thank you.
Well, based on what Paul said about the comic book, it really doesn't change the value too much.
Thank you.
You got it.
He said it was about a $50 comic book, but still, really, your whole value there is for the signatures. And that's kind of what makes it so special.
Well, you said you wanted 4,000 and you were trying to sell it for a dress. Honestly, I'm not going to be able to get you up to that 4,000.
What about 3.5?
It's just, that's more than it's worth. Those guys are really good at what they do, though, and I'm sure it is worth 3, so. Would you take 1,500 for it?
I'm not dropping below 3. I kind of want what it's worth out of it. I really want that dress.
I don't see myself paying any more than $1,500 for it. Maybe try out a couple comic stores because I think you deserve your dress more than you deserve this Star Wars comic.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, well, thanks for bringing it in.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. I'm positive I can get more out of it somewhere else. But if my dad's friend had spent 35 cents rather than 30 on it, I would have gotten an extra $3,000 off of it. Life sucks.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Pretty good.
What do you have here?
I have a autographed book signed by 41 comic book artists.
Do you mind if I go ahead and take a look through it?
Not at all, please do.
Oh, Bugs Bunny. Wanted, the Wabbit. I'll get that wascal.
I'm here today to sell my autographed book signed by 41 comic book artists. I'm looking to get $2,000. The lowest I will go is $1,000. If I sell the book, I will use the money to help get books for my daughter that's going away to college.
This is a pretty cool book. Oh, look, it's Captain America. Jack Kirby, artist of Captain America and so many other things. This is a guy who worked in Marvel Comics with Stan Lee for years, developing these characters that Stan Lee would make stories to. And, you know, he was a big part in developing the whole Marvel era of superheroes. But he didn't feel like he got the respect, recognition he wanted. So he left Marvel and started drawing comics for DC. This is pretty cool because this is dated to '76. This was after he left Marvel. But here he is drawing Marvel comics. This shows you just how much he enjoyed that time creating these characters.
Love he had.
Any other cool autographs in here?
Yeah, we have Joe Shuster.
Yeah, the original artist of Superman. Kind of sad he sold his portion of Superman for like just a few bucks. Because, I mean, all the comics that continue to come out today, the movie chain. I don't know about you, but Superman is my very favorite. All right, who's this Catherine lady?
She was the owner of the book from the estate sale. From what I was told, went to every Comic-Con trade show in San Diego from the time it started back in the late 70s.
So, what kind of money are you looking to get for it?
Well, from some of the research I did, I was thinking $2,000 would be a fair price to start with.
You know what? $2,000 is a lot of money to put out on a book of autographs. You do have some really cool stuff here, and a lot of the important autographs have a picture to go with them. This is kind of different than what I'm used to. I'd like to have someone come down and take a look at this.
Okay.
I'm gonna go call my friend Steve. He basically will be able to tell if the autographs are real.
Sounds good. Thank you. I feel great that someone's going to come in that's knowledgeable in autographs so that we can get a complete authenticity of the book.
So, check it out. This is pretty freaking cool. It's got a bunch of comic book artists in here. Most of them signed their name and drew a little picture.
Nice. You know, artists always have done shows or different kind of comic conventions. They've been doing it for years. It's gotten more rare, though. And the thing that's great to me is that they've also added the artwork on it. These guys just don't do that. Stuff like this doesn't come around that often. So your concerns here.
My main concern is, did Catherine just do this herself to impress all her friends?
The first thing I want to do is take a look at kind of what we're dealing with in terms of the signatures themselves. You know, proxy signers, secretarial, someone that would sign for them occasionally from time to time. Joe Shuster. Sure. This is one of the most famous ones, and this is one that I see pretty often here. Joe had this wonderful signature, and you know, he was always proud to put this on here. But I see literally the same thing here again. Why don't you show me a couple more of the highlights?
Oh, there you go.
Okay, and this is something obviously that's pretty big. You get a nice sketch in there too with it. Jack Kirby literally had the same type of signature throughout the years. We see this again. Love the way he comes here, flows right through his name, every letter, and look how he just spells that straight out. He has some great artwork in here. He has some great names.
So, everything's made out to Catherine. How does that affect the value?
Let's say Jack Kirby was still alive, okay? He's passed away, or Joe Shuster. It would probably be worth less, but the fact is that so many of these guys have been deceased for so long, it kind of outweighs that.
All right. I guess I kind of need an overall value of the book.
Well, you know, just based on some of the highlights I've seen, your value's right at about $2,000.
Okay. Thanks for coming out.
Good to see you, man. Yep, thanks. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yep. The great thing about this book is it appeals to so many different collectors. The market just seems to keep growing and growing. People are more interested than they've ever been in this stuff before.
Well, unfortunately, to make money, I'm gonna have to cut this book up and sell it piece by piece individually.
We can cut it together. I do have scissors with me.
I don't think I'm gonna use scissors to cut this. So, I'd like to get it for 500.
Yeah. I
That's
couldn't
not-
do 500. I think the lowest I could walk out of here without the book would be 900.
I could do 8. Like, comfortably, I could do 8.
I can do 8.
All right, that's a deal.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Go ahead and just meet me right over here.
Alrighty. I think the value of $2,000 was fair, but $800 is still a super deal.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
What I have,
You got something to sell, obviously.
yeah, this is the last page of the last Rocky and Bullwinkle comic book ever produced. And I have the book to go with it.
Oh, sweet. This was a great cartoon when I was a kid, which was a long, long time ago. As a matter of fact, when I was a kid, there were already reruns. I think the cartoon only lasted like 63.
Don't say that because I saw the originals. I came down to the pawn shop today to sell the last page of the last Bullwinkle and Rocky comic book that was ever produced. I have Flash, I have Spider-Man, I have Superman. So this one just didn't fit really into the collection. I'm asking $1,100 for it, but realistically, I'd probably take somewhere between $500 and $600.
Rocket J. Squirrel, nicknamed Rocky, was the little brainiac, and then you had Bullwinkle, who was a complete idiot. But for some reason, Bullwinkle always saved the day.
Sounds about right. What's this old villain guy's name?
That's Boris and that's Natasha. They were evil. They had Russian accents. And these kids would watch this thing, and they had no idea that the Cold War was going on with the Russians, and we always put the Russians in a bad light. The Rocky and Bullwinkle show debuted in 1959 and was originally called Rocky and His Friends. And even though they're not as popular as Looney Tunes or Hanna-Barbera, they're still relevant. I mean, they inspired The Simpsons. Moose and Squirrel did it to us again. Lambaski.
You can make anything sound boring.
Do you want to read it?
I'm just saying, use a little punctuation in there.
It's comics, and they don't punctuate well. Okay, I'll do it this way. Moose and Squirrel did it to us again, Lambaski.
That was fun.
Okay? What do we do now?
No.
But anyway, I think it's cool. How much you want for this?
You could probably get $2,500 for it.
Really? You really
Yeah.
think that?
Oh, yeah.
It's just not gonna work, Boris. I will give you $500.
Got to quote a line here from the book. What's the matter, you? About $750.
It's not a really quick sell. Okay?
But it's new.
It's not something that you can just hang in your living room. It's something that goes in a kid's room or something like that.
Go a little bit better, 600. We're really close here.
You'll take 500.
600.
You'll take 500.
No, 600.
Don't you think I'll take $500?
I think 500 is fair.
It's Rocky and Bullwinkle. It's not Spider-Man. It's not Batman.
550. You can do that.
You want 5 1/4? You got 5 1/4.
Deal.
All right. All right. You want to write this up, chum?
Yeah, come on.
He's a really tough negotiator. And, you know, I think in a perfect world, it's worth what I was asking, but I made $525 for a piece of artwork that I spent $20 for, so not too bad.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good. What can I help you with?
Brought in this comic, thought you might be interested in. It's Punch Comics number 12, and it is one of the most difficult books to actually find.
All right, 5.5. It's not exactly a good grade.
It's a fantastic grade for that comic. I'm at the pawn shop today trying to sell my Punch Comics number 12. So this comic is one of the hardest comics to find, especially in good condition. This is one of the most iconic covers of the Golden Age. I bought the book a couple of years ago at what I thought was a great market price. The market has matured, so I'm ready to sell it. I'm hoping to get $75,000 for my Punch Comics number 12.
This is interesting. Punch comics were made in the early 1940s. This is in the golden age of comics, you know, 1938 to about 1956, I think. This isn't your typical comic like Superman that everyone knows of. But I do know that these comics
aren't really collected for what was inside. They're more collected for their awesome cover work, because this would have been before the time where they started censoring comics. Just looking at this comic book right here, it's got a lot of shock value to it. More suitable for adults.
I would agree.
So tell me about this comic here.
This one in particular is just incredibly difficult to find. The print runs from the Golden Age, even though they were huge when they were printed, they're minuscule now. There are probably less than 50 copies of this known to exist, and even though it's currently graded at a 5.5, I personally feel like it's undergraded. There are a couple of corner issues that are probably the biggest detractors of the grade. However, you can see that it's really not in that terrible of condition.
So what are you looking to do with this?
So I'd like to sell it.
And how much would you like to get?
I'd like to get $75,000 for it.
All right, well, that's a lot of money for a comic no one's ever heard of. I would imagine, you know, if this was a Spider-Man 1 or something like that, I'd probably be jumping to pay that for it. I do know these Golden Era comics can go for a lot, so before I make you an offer, I want to have someone come down and take a look at it, tell me if they think it's worth $75,000 at a 5.5 grade. So do you have a little bit of time to hang out?
I do, I have time.
All right, let me go get someone down here and we'll go from there.
Sounds good. I have no concerns with the expert coming in to take a look. I'm confident in my price, and I think they will be too.
What have we got today?
Something that you don't see too often, Punch Comics. I'm sure you're familiar with it.
Well, that is quite a special book you have right there. That book is exceedingly rare. That's actually harder to find than the first appearance of Batman, the first appearance of Superman. Comic books from the Golden Age are extremely rare. Even though books were published in huge amounts, the paper drives of the Second World War destroyed millions of comics. Now, of course, this book is famous just because of the cover. It's not the first appearance of a famous character or anything like that. It's all about the cover. This book is very popular within a niche audience. There's a group of collectors out there that do collect pre-code comic books. When we talk about pre-code comic books, we're talking about censorship. And basically, the code came in 1954. Before that, there was no real censorship on product. People could draw, within reason, whatever they wanted to do. The Punch Comics number 12 is highly sought after because it has a specific, slightly scary cover of a skull. Definitely not meant for, you know, young children.
I absolutely love the cover artwork on it, but here's the big problem. It's got a 5.5 grade, and he's asking a pretty penny.
Well, that actually is quite a special book. To date, I think the highest grade ever found on that book is an 8.5. So 5.5 for that book is actually considered quite high. Do you mind if I take a look?
Yeah, please take a look.
Well, of course, the Golden Age standard of grading is slightly different. There's a lot more leeway. A look here at the cover, you've got two significant dings on the corners here. However, in the scheme of things, for a Golden Age book, that isn't that bad. From first appearance here, it does seem a book that presents very well for a 5.5.
Okay, so what kind of dollar amount would you put on this copy?
The rarity of this book is so incredible. The amount of issues out there may be under 50. I would place that book, I would put like 55,000 on it.
All right, well, I appreciate you coming down. Thanks for shedding all your knowledge on this.
Thanks, guys. What a beautiful book.
All right, well, you were asking 75. So what's your bottom dollar on it?
My bottom dollar, honestly, I wouldn't want to accept less than about $70,000 for it. Good luck getting another copy.
How about 45,000?
Ooh, I appreciate the offer, but I just can't let it go. The opportunity cost for me is just a little too high.
Well, I couldn't let it go without making an offer either.
Thank you.
I appreciate you bringing it in.
Thanks, I appreciate it. So we weren't able to make a deal today, but I can roll with the punches. We'll try to sell it again another time.
What do we got here? Comic books ranging from the 60s to the 90s.
What can I do with it, man?
Sell them. I'm here today to sell my comic books, which my father passed on to me. I have at least 130 comic books here. They range from maybe 50 cents to $1 a piece. I should be able to get at least $130 out of all of them.
Hey, Pops, you know anything about comic books, man?
A little bit. All I know is they ain't worth nearly as much as they used to be. They used to be so hot.
Why is that?
It just, things change, you know? People don't buy comic books anymore. They're not nearly as cool as they were 15 years ago. It's just like baseball cards. People bought baseball cards, they went up to a fortune and went straight down. You know, but some of them are still worth a lot of money, okay?
Most of the first editions are worth more than anything.
It doesn't necessarily have to be #1 or one of the earlier ones. Some of the later ones can be worth money if you have a specific artist that did the artwork in them. If there's something really strange that happened in the story and everyone wants that one, those can make it be worth a lot more money. So there's a little bit of everything that makes them worth money. I'm still not a big expert on them. You know, like I always say, it's about supply and demand.
Most of them are kept in pretty good condition.
That one looks a little racy. Blazer Widow?
It says black, dude.
Black Widow, okay. It's a really weird font, all right?
Where do you see a Z in there at all?
God, I wish I mean, you got lots of cool ones here. X-Men.
Oh, yeah, a lot of X-Men.
X-Men are always cool.
Oh, yeah.
Batman.
That's a nice one.
This looks like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle I've never seen. My understanding was the early Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were graphic and violent and all that sort of fun stuff.
Yeah.
How much you want for these things?
Close to 150 that I can get.
So would 20 bucks be close enough?
No.
You know, the problem with these things is they sit around, I sell one a week, and then it takes me 2 years to get rid of the damn things. I guarantee you, my dad over there will be giving them away to kids left and right. Won't you, Dad? More than likely. Yeah, so I'll give you like 70 bucks for them, man.
I'll take it.
All right, write them up, son.
You got your ID on you, man?
Yep.
How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. What can I do for you?
I am interested in selling, possibly, every printed copy of Prince's first comic book. It came out in 1991.
Pretty cool. Well, let's go crazy.
I have a complete set of Prince's comic book alter ego. I'm a huge Prince fan. I used to collect literally everything I could get my hands on, posters, albums, artwork, but that was too much, so I had to reduce my collection.
Prince was an amazing artist, one of the greatest artists ever, in my opinion.
I think so.
This guy was just very talented, you know, comes from a family of musicians, taught himself how to play the piano and the drums. He started making music in high school with his first band and then went on to sign his first record deal with Warner Brothers at 19. And then I think it was his second album that came out, and the hits that we know today started pouring out after that second album. And from that point on, he was just an icon. When it comes to music, Prince is pretty important to our time period. Have you read him before?
Yes, I've read it twice.
And what's the story about?
Basically, it's about Prince and his alter ego, which was Gemini. Prince and Gemini, as youth, were trying to figure out how to make music and how to make it powerful. Gemini went more to the dark side, whereas Prince started playing for love.
Okay, and I mean, that's kind of what Prince is known for, sweet love music. Oh. So these are the exact same printings with just a different little SKU code right here, right?
Correct, yeah, it's the same comic book, but I have the original UPC version. This is the one that went onto the newsstand, as well as Piranha 1, 2, and 3. And I don't know of anyone who has the complete collection for sale.
How much are you looking to get?
For the complete set, I'm looking for $1,300.
Okay, I honestly have no idea, and even if I did, it would all depend on what these comics' condition were. So I'd like to call my buddy down, and he can shed some more light for me about these comics, and then with his information, I can come to a price I'd be willing to pay.
Okay.
All right, give me a few minutes.
Okay. I have no problem with an expert coming in. He can shed some light on the value of them, and I think that's going to help my sale.
Ooh, some Prince. Nice purple shirt.
I like yours as well.
Oh, how about that?
This is the Twilight Zone. So I've heard about these. I've never actually seen them. He has all 4 copies, and that's really all I know about him.
These are really cool. I imagine that Prince and Piranha Music approached DC Comics to put out a Prince comic, and it is a Brian Bolland cover, and he is one of the best cover artists ever.
Only the best when Prince is doing it.
Yeah, exactly. It's written by Dwayne McDuffie, who was an African-American writer for DC.
Okay.
Do you mind if I open them?
Sure, go ahead.
All right, cool. Minneapolis, the long tour is over.
Yeah.
Love the motorcycle.
Of course, purple. This is a first print.
What are you looking for?
Handling defects, things that might take the grade down. It's like stress lines, this crease here. It looks like it has some water damage here. This one has a couple of indents here. They've all been read and loved, I assume.
And I'm glad I called you down, because to my eye, they look like 9s.
No, these are not quite 9s. It's a 10-point scale. The highest we ever graded one was a 9.8, which is near mint, and it sold recently for $175. None of these really are gonna make that. All of these raw are about $50 each. So I'd say maybe $200 for the lot, chum.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it.
You got it, chum.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Thank you.
Hey, it was nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Well, that's not the tune you were looking to hear.
Not at all.
What do you think?
I've seen each individual selling for $200. So honestly, I thought as a collection, they'd be worth a lot more.
I hate to purple rain on your parade, but unfortunately, they're not impossible to find. But logistically, if I wanted to go out and build this collection, I could do it for $200. For me to buy it, I'm gonna have to offer you less than that. I have a feeling you've got a little too much emotional value placed on these.
Way more.
So honestly, I don't even want to make you an offer and insult you because they're really cool. So I'm just gonna have to pass on them.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thanks for bringing them in. I enjoyed looking at them.
I don't think that the valuation of $200 is accurate or fair. And honestly, I thought the expert was delirious.